Now, around 2 years ago, I locked this account to only the Grand Exchange area. Just me in the Grand Exchange, no trading other players, no picking up items, nothing like that. Now, my original goal was 1,000 total level, and although I did end up reaching that, we've expanded the series slightly to a new goal of 1,500 total, and to do this I've expanded my area slightly to include the Varrock Palace and my POH. We're getting very close to the end now, and here's where things get, well, a little bit tricky. Now, in the last episode, we finished off at 1,424 total. We're getting so close now, only 75 levels left, more or less. Now, the remaining levels can kind of be split into two categories. We have the expensive buyable levels. That is going to be from skills like prayer, herb lore, construction, smithing, firemaking, and farming. Those are just going to require lots of money. But we also have the combat grind, which, although we put a lot of hours into that last episode, we still have almost 30 combat levels I still need to get, which is going to take a while. Well, there is a milestone level. Nice to hit those every once in a while. 1425 total level. Now we legitimately only have 75 levels left. Okay, so somebody on YouTube left a comment and said, if you go to the roof of the palace, there are way more guards than the bottom. Now, I thought I checked everywhere, but I didn't actually check this east tower, and oh my god. There are definitely more guards up here. That's so funny. This will probably have an effect on my XP per hour because, yeah, there's only 6 guards down below that would spawn. Up here it looks like there's a dozen or something. Oh my god. Well, we still have a fair bit of combat training to do, so it's not totally in vain, but I just, why didn't I look up here? I don't know. So there we are, 75 strength is done with, which means we're done with attack, we're done with strength. The only melee combat we have left is of course defense, which we'll probably do with the whip again. Now we've actually made quite a bit of progress leveling up our farming simply by just using the one patch we have access to, the tree patch, to plant loads and loads of magic seeds. This is quite expensive because it's been draining our bank for a while, although magic seeds are incredibly cheap right now. Now, although there's no way for us to plant any of these saplings anywhere else besides that one patch, we still can use our farming skill to make seedlings. For example, we can make fruit tree seedlings even though we can't plant them. So we can make dragon fruit saplings, we can make magic saplings, we can even make like mahogany saplings if we wanted to. And in doing so, we can actually make ourselves a lot of money. Creating saplings is one of the best money makers in the game, and I really feel like I haven't taken advantage of this enough, considering you can sometimes make multiple millions an hour doing this. So we're able to afford around 170 magic seeds at once, and luckily we do actually have a water source in our area, so we were actually able to fill up our watering cans. Otherwise, I think we're actually totally screwed. I don't know if you can use buckets or anything. So all we have to do is simply add the seeds to the filled plant pots and then water them, wait a little bit of time, and then we can go ahead and sell them back. Alright, so there we go. We've successfully grown 170 magic saplings, and it actually looks like we're going to make a significant amount of money from this. The saplings cost us around 13.2 mil, and we're going to drop them in here for 14 mil. So an 800k profit for about 10 minutes of work, not bad in my mind. The hourly rate on this is incredibly good, but you know, you can only do it for 20 minutes at a time. A lot of clicking, but I think it's definitely worth it. So not bad, a few hours later, and that's about a 750k profit. So I went back and did another set of saplings. This time we did 160 magic saplings, which is pretty much all I can afford right now. And it looks like we're gonna get a pretty similar margin, I think. Well, that didn't work as well. That was only a 200k profit, still something, but probably not worth your time at that point. So we're gonna move on to a different seed here. We're looking actually at the dragon fruit tree seed, a little bit more expensive, but the margin is much higher right now. And we're actually just able to plant this now because you need 81 farming to do it. So all this farming training is actually gonna pay off. We actually unlock something noteworthy in the Grand Exchange chunk without ever actually having to plant this. Okay, so there we go. We sold off 100 dragon fruit saplings for just about 16 mil, and we bought them for 15.2, so about a 600k profit from just 100 of them. Pretty good. If we actually managed to afford the full buying limit, that's a 1.2 mil profit, but we're still a little bit poor right now. We have a bit of money invested in gear, although once I finish off 75 defense, we can sell that back to get a bit of our money back. So this melee combat grind has taken me months. It's been quite a process, but we are finally done. We finally have 75 defense, 75 attack, and 75 strength, and 75 hit points. So that all evened off pretty nicely. It's finally done, or well, it's kind of done anyway. This brought us up to a total level of 1434, and we have killed tens of thousands of guards at this point, and that's probably not going to be the end of it. So finally we can actually sell off our melee gear. I hope we won't need this again. But after selling off our whip, our obsidian armor, we're back up to 20 mil, which is nice. Although I will need to spend some of that on some new combat gear. So now that we're done with melee, we only have one combat skill left that we really need to train up, and that's ranged. Now ranged is going to be a little bit different because of a few things. To begin with here, we don't have access to an Ava's accumulator, which means we're going to have to do things kind of cost effectively, because I don't want to wait around and pick up all the ammunition. That kind of is going to be terrible. Now I did some DPS calculations with the DPS calculator, and it seems like my best bet is probably going to be a magic shortbow imbued with adamant arrows. Rune arrows would be significantly better, but they're also going to be significantly more expensive, and I'd probably have to pick the arrows up at that point. Just to put in perspective, adamant arrows are 10 times cheaper than rune arrows. So although most of the ranged gear is pretty cheap, I am going to invest in a few more expensive items, such as the archer ring. I can always sell it back if I need money, but any extra max hits or accuracy is really going to help out here. And you know what, I'm actually going to pick up a Robin Hood hat as well. Maybe not strictly necessary, but oh my god, it looks so much better than the stupid snakeskin bandana. So here is our ranged setup. I don't think it's going to change a whole lot on our way to 75, except for, you know, getting better d'hide armor. Very curious to see what our XP per hour is going to look like, because we need to get to 75, and with a magic shortbow with adamant arrows, that's going to take, I think, quite a while still. So it looks like with moderate focus and ranged potions, we can get about 30k per hour, which is alright. That will probably go up a bit as we get more range levels. I don't know what it is, but there's something a bit more like cozy about ranged gear. It's like fun, a little bit more fashionable. I don't know, I'm liking the new look. So we have been littering this rooftop with arrows everywhere. We're not picking them up, like I said. Ended up buying 10,000 adamant arrows, and that was enough to last us for about 4 or 5 hours, and that got us all the way to 60 ranged, which is actually pretty good. I think the cost per hour of shooting these arrows and not picking them up is probably only about 30 or 40k, which is definitely pretty manageable compared to the 300 to 400k per hour that it would be otherwise. I did consider the Dorgishkan crossbow, but the DPS is actually quite a bit less than the magic shortbow with adamant arrows, so, you know, might as well go with that. So there is another book of knowledge. We've been a little unlucky in these the last couple of months, but then of course we get 2 in the same day. That's just the way it goes, but that should be enough to get us another hunter level, all the way to 11 hunter, and that is just entirely from lamps and books of knowledge. Okay, so there's all the range training we're going to do for now. 62 ranged is a kind of random spot to stop off at, but we ran out of arrows, so that's kind of where we're stopping. All the while I've been training, I've been on the side growing saplings. There's another 450k profit just by doing 70 dragon fruit saplings, pretty good. And there's another 90 saplings sold off, and we're making an 8k profit on each one. So we actually just got another 700k profit on saplings, pretty damn good. Oh man, we look so much more stylish in this gear. That's my new favorite setup. So in our downtime, I've been chopping new trees for hundreds of hours on this account, and we finally reached a level I didn't think we would need, but there is 90 wood cutting. We're approaching the halfway mark to 99 simply just by cutting yew trees. Incredibly slow, the money per hour is terrible, but super AFK. So with the money we've earned the last couple of days, I'm going to invest a bit of it into a buyable skill, and I've decided on prayer. Getting 1 level of prayer is still reasonably cost effective compared to herb lore or even firemaking. It's not cheap by any means, but at least we have the gilded altar now. So we're going to start with 1,000 dragon bones, and well, we'll see where that gets us. Okay, so that was enough to get us 1 prayer level. There's 81 prayer. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dump in a bit more money here. We're going to buy another 750 dragon bones, which should just be enough to get us 1 more level for 1.9 mil. I will say, although prayer is incredibly expensive, at least it's relaxing. It's pretty low intensity as well. And there we go, there is 82 prayer. Now one skill that is actually a bit underleveled and a bit quicker to train than I thought is thieving. The best thing we can steal from right now is actually the guard, and although it's kind of slow when we first started, each level is making it notably quicker, and once we get up into the 70s, I think we're actually going to get pretty decent experience per hour considering our area. Oh wow, another genie random. We've gotten really lucky with these recently. That's actually going to be another hunter level. That will bring us to 12 hunter. Just kind of a freebie level there. There is 62 thieving. There is 63 thieving. If we're not really paying too much attention, we're getting like, 30k per hour. But I think we could get as high as 40k per hour with no downtime, which is pretty quick for the level actually. Also another notable level that actually brought us to 1450, which means 50 levels left, guys. We're getting really close. And there is 64 thieving. I think that's where we're going to leave it for now. But I expect we're actually going to probably level up the skill more than I initially thought because it's turned out to be much quicker. Farming has really slowed down recently. We've been planting saplings pretty much every day. But there we go, finally another level, 84 farming. With 300k to the next level, that's going to be at least 2 or 3 weeks until we get another one. But, we're working with what we got here. And I think we've leveled it up a fairly impressive amount for just having a single patch. Now, before I go here, I want to give a giant thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to March3258 and Pewter, who just joined the Dragon tier, joining the Hybrid, Alejandra, and Kush Patel. Thank you guys so much, really appreciate it. Also, thank you to YoYoSub89, Carter, Mexos, Fat606, and NDM001 for subscribing at the Runite tier. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.